the land to struggle and act literally like a fish out of water. So here we are, struggling in the material atmosphere. We've forgotten all about the complete whole of which we are a part. We consider that all unnecessary. That's a kind of subjective spiritual stuff. What is the reality? It's me and my program, my mission. I've got things to do, things to achieve. Don't you understand that? The fact that I have a list of things to achieve means my life has meaning. And the fact that I have some good, pleasurable things, some nice, flickering pleasure scheduled for this weekend, that shows my life has meaning. I've asked this question before. Have you ever just looked into the eyes of your temporary significant other and just said, yeah, I'm for you? How many of you done that? Raise your hand. No one? No one's ever tried to tell your dear one that you're for real? Or that old-fashioned? It doesn't matter whether I'm for real or not. Who cares? No one here has ever looked the beloved in the eye? Or the temporary significant other, or whatever you want to call him or her? And you never said that? You know, let me tell you, I'm for real. No one's ever done it. Okay. All right, one person admits. But how can we actually do that when we don't know why we're here, why we've taken birth, and in fact we don't even realize that our birth is unnecessary? It's actually an illusion. We're dreaming that we are these material bodies. We are dreaming that we are part of material existence. So Krishna lets us dream because we insisted. Like rebellious teenagers who have good parents. The parents try to give good counsel, but the rebellious teenagers, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. We have lots of meaningful, good things to do. We know. Like they used to say back in the 60s, never trust anyone over 30. Well, all the persons who said that never realized that one day they'd be over 30. So, we're like rebellious teenagers, and we don't want to listen. We don't want to understand the science of our being unborn, just as Krishna's unborn. We can't compare to Krishna in quantity because we're so tiny, and the proof of our tininess is that we have been overwhelmed by illusion. Whereas Krishna, even when he appears in this world, he is never overcome by illusion. The illusion is his energy. It's his shadow energy. Krishna controls the shadow energy. The shadow energy doesn't control him. But we are so tiny that we get overwhelmed by the shadow energy. Now you might say, well, why? Why does Krishna come here? Okay, I accept he comes. Happy birthday, Krishna. But what are you doing here anyway? What's your program? We don't know what our program is. We don't know what our mission is. We do not know what lesson we're supposed to learn. But Krishna, since you come here, maybe you know why you're here. So why are you here? Krishna explains this also in Bhagavad Gita. He says that whenever there is an imbalance in the human being's material and spiritual affairs. I mean, we're not the body and mind, but we still have to take care of the body and mind. Even though it's not us, just like you're not your car, but you still take care of your car. You're not your clothes, but you still take care of your clothes. Similarly, even though we're not the body, we have to take care of the body. So Krishna knows that there has to be a balance of material and spiritual affairs. But whenever that balance gets way out of whack, and so much emphasis is put on the material side, the temporary side, then Krishna says, I have to do something about it. When people forget what is the essence of life, so Krishna says at that time, he personally does something. He either comes himself, or he sends his representatives. And he further explains, he elucidates upon his mission. His mission statement is such. He says, in order to enliven and encourage and protect the transcendentalists, the bhakti yogis, and in order to curb down the deviants, those who couldn't care what is life and why they're living and just want to let the good times roll. When they become too prominent, things just get chaotic. So Krishna says, I personally do something about this. I have to shore up the realists, those who want to live according to the spirituality. And I have to kind of push back those who are a bit deviant. They just missed the point. They lost the plot. Now you might say, well, Krishna, that's none of your business. So, all right, I might have lost the plot. That's my personal thing. But just think, if you're part of Krishna, Krishna has claimed you as his part, therefore he feels responsible, just like a good parent feels responsible. You might have told your parents so many things when you were a rebellious teenager, if you had a good parent. But still the good parent tries. So, similarly, Krishna acts on responsibility, out of responsibility for his parts and parcels. So he says, I come in order to nourish and protect the cooperators, those who want to live in harmony. And I have to push back the anti-harmonists. They're becoming too prominent. They're causing such a chaotic situation. So Krishna says, that is my mission in coming. Now, actually, this is a deeper meaning. The obvious meaning is correct, and there's also a deeper meaning. You see, Krishna doesn't really have to come to nurture and nourish the harmonizers, because just by their activities of being in harmony with Krishna, they're already protected and nourished. Just by their chanting Hare Krishna, they're already well established. And also, Krishna doesn't have to come in order to curb down the anti-harmonists, because just one hurricane, one cyclone, and the karmic reactions come. But Krishna doesn't have to appear for that. So then what is the real reason why Krishna appears in this world? It's simply for his own pleasure. Because Krishna has no problem with the material energy like we do. So for Krishna, there's no difference between the material and spiritual world. It's all his energy. So just for his own pastimes, his own self-pleasurable reasons, Krishna comes and goes as he likes. His own sweet will. Krishna is qualified to do whatever he likes for whatever reason. We try to be like that, and we're subject to so many necessities and needs. There's certain things we have to do, no matter how carefree we try to be, like in the drama. They try to be so carefree. But, they have to eat, they have to sleep, they have to take care of the body, they have to take care of the mind. They were trying to do it by forgetfulness, drinking beer after beer, but still you got to take care of your mind. But Krishna doesn't have to do anything, because he's not composed of the material energy. We can't conceive of a personality and form that is purely spiritual, without limitation. The only way you can understand this is by hearing from Krishna directly. Just like the only way you can understand our friend here is by hearing. He studies massage. He lives in St. Luke's. He could go on and on telling about himself. And that's the best way to learn about him. Assuming, of course, he's a truthful gentleman, which no doubt he is, because he's coming here. So why should we immediately assume that Krishna is being untruthful. I come. Nah, you can't. Who are you anyway? This is what I am. This is what I do. Nah, I'm sorry. You are mythology. Actually, you don't exist. We're going to read Bhagavad Gita with the idea that Krishna doesn't exist. It's like he's going to spend an hour explaining about himself, and you're going to write down everything he says with the underlying conception that he doesn't exist. It's just ludicrous. So apparently we are celebrating Krishna's birthday today, but actually Krishna's unborn. He just manifests his presence. He's everywhere, and sometimes he just manifests himself to the vision of everyone, even though most persons can't understand what they're looking at. Similarly, you are unborn, but because of a desire to enjoy the illusion, you've taken a body and mind of matter. So Krishna is inviting you, give up that false status of birth, death, old age, and disease. Give up that nightmare. Wake up to the reality that you're my part, and you're meant to live in harmony with me. That is Bhakti Yoga. All right. Maybe there are just a few questions? Yes.
Why have we forgotten our natural habitat, and why the illusion?
Why have we forgotten our natural habitat? Why the illusion? Just like that fish who had to go on the land. And misuse of our independence. You see, there can't be love between you and the Supreme unless you have independence. You don't want forced love, do you? Do you want forced love?
No, I just want to.
Yeah, you want someone to choose you voluntarily. Not that, look, I just have to be with you, That's the only reason, because, I'm just forced to. You don't want that. You want to hear that the person is attracted to your qualities. The person is has appreciation for you. So Krishna, he's the supreme enjoyer. He doesn't want forced love. So he gives you an option. And when you misuse your options, you have the dream of material existence. Meanwhile, Krishna's trying to wake you up from the dream. You made the wrong choice. Wake up, wake up. But we get so caught up in the dream. Has it ever happened to you that you were dreaming maybe you were the Queen of England or something like that? Don't wake me up. Oh, this, yes. You were with a Hollywood movie star or something, Tom Cruise or something like that. So Krishna gives his parts independence, but because the parts are so tiny, their independence is tiny. You need to connect your independence back to Krishna voluntarily. And that's what Krishna's waiting for. He doesn't want forced love. He wants you to feel the ecstasy of choosing to be with him. Anything else? Yes?
It seems a great many people, when they're introduced to the tenets of Krishna consciousness, they find it quite attractive and understand it to a degree, at least on an intellectual level. But because of poor association, poor habits, they have quite a lot of trouble staying determined on the path of bhakti. How do we remedy this?
Well, you mentioned association. You become like whom you hang out with. Just like if you're going to the uni and you start hanging out with the students who don't study and they just party all the time and get wasted, you know what's going to happen to your grades. And if you hang out with the students who are studying all the time and taking everything that the professors say so seriously, then you'll be a serious student. Each side thinks the others are missing out.